Uh-oh, more washer parts? Well, I came across yet another interesting find, incidentally on Facebook Marketplace too. I bought these parts off a guy a few towns over yesterday, and it's literally pretty much every single part of a washing machine that you could need to make it function, minus the base cabinet and the back panel and all that sort of stuff. It came with the control panel, as you can tell. It's an older Whirlpool direct drive, obviously. Kind of like the one Sharky 626 had, except not a clean touch. And this one, as you could tell, it was a large capacity machine rather than a super capacity, so it had the smaller tub, kind of like that. And yes, by the way, I still haven't sold that machine yet at the time I'm recording this video, so but that's neither here nor there. This though is what we're here for, and this is pretty cool because this was all $40. I bought this, so, and they're all the original older parts as well. So it even has the original drain pump, which is cool. I like this style of pump better, and the way it sounds and just all that. So it even has the original transmission and clutch. The motor, as you can tell, is in there. Fill spout, and it has all of the small, like, minuscule parts that you could need for the hardware for it, and in there. You can see it has the coupling in there, which is the original, and all the wiring. It has the power cord, even the motor harness came attached with it. All the wiring goes to the motor, as well as the wiring for the water valves. It even has the water valves with it, as you can see there, down in there, that are attached to the fill spout. And so this is the whole assembly under here. Ignore those parts. Those are the parts that came with that other 90 series machine that I salvaged the motor and transmission out of. But in the meantime, you have literally all of the fixins that you need. Even has the start capacitor here in the control panel, water level switch, temperature switch, all of the wiring and essential soul of the machine is all there. And it's you know, you could literally just take it, throw it on a frame, back panel, whatever, you know, with a support. You'd have to get a tub too, of course, but and you'd literally have pretty much, you know, a brand new washing machine, minus the servicing and TLC these parts will need, of course. But yeah, cool stuff. Cool stuff. Very, very cool score too for the amount. Not bad at all. And I've always wanted one of these older style Whirlpools, so I'm very happy I was able to obtain this one. This one has it has a hot warm on it, which is awesome, and the water level switch works just as it should, and then your timer, which I will show you what that sounds like. Even has a super wash cycle there. That's always been a cycle I've sort of wanted on my 92 machine that isn't intrinsically built in. So, but this one has that, and it has, as you can tell, it has this little star there, which is, in case you weren't already aware, if you set it to that, it'll go and essentially agitate. I think on low speed for this model, it'll agitate with no water in the tub, so it'll basically, it almost acts as a suds return cycle, except obviously you're not sucking water up from a laundry basin like you would have back in the days you had to. so to speak. So yeah, that's your super wash with a partial neutral drain and refill to whatever setting you have the temperature on, and then your regular obviously goes through and it cycles, hits, I think it's about there, either there or just right after that, where it switches to low speed agitation, and then it goes to your rinse, spin obviously. And this normally would be where a second rinse, or an extra rinse in this case, in Whirlpool's case, would be. And it's technically it's there, it's just not wired into the timer to be active. So, but it's hard coded into the cams in the timer. So there is a potential for a cycle. It's just not wired in that way. And some of the Whirlpools I know from the 80s and the late 80s, like this one, also would have had a little rocker switch over here to enable the extra rinse, which I suppose could be done even on this model if desired. But and then your permanent press, obviously, your usual stuff, and your soak cycle, which soaks for 14 minutes and then goes through I think there's probably a 4-minute agitation period where there'd be like a pre-wash setting, if I'm not wrong, and then it would drain and spin all that out. So anyways, it functions just as it should. Pretty cool stuff. And then, yeah, like I said, it comes with your original all your drivetrain that's you could need. Comes with the 6-padded clutch, and it has the round vents on the bottom, as you can tell, which is basically just like what the 92 Kenmore has. And it still has the original coupler on that side of it, still attached, which it's sort of needs a little bit of love, but it'll need cleaned off too, because you can see like this sludge or whatever. That's probably from the rubber coupler, which I'd be willing to bet that's what's in here. Yeah, that looks like those finger pieces were set a little too far onto the motor and transmission shafts, and that's why you have that sort of keyholing in the rubber coupler there on both sides, but it's only visible on each individual side for that particular piece. And there's the other half, which is still in good shape as far as I can tell. Yeah, so other than the middle piece, we'll probably need to replace at the very least, if not the whole thing. And I have a pack of couplers on hand if needed be. So cool stuff. And it has the lid switch right here for that, which I actually find it interesting. This design for the lid switch is it's activated by a paddle, which I'm not going to show you right now, but it's pretty cool though. So the motor. Now this was basically the whole reason this seller had scrapped the machine and took it apart was because the motor is seized, and I did confirm that too with testing it, and I have a video doing that as well, which I'll include in this video. At first I couldn't even turn the motor shaft by hand. It was literally frozen solid, seized, and I had to take a flat blade screwdriver and insert it into the back of the motor and basically pry the fan blades loose, which sort of got it to loosen up. It's not. still very stiff to turn. So, and I tested it out and it does run. So, as you will see momentarily in the video I have to testing it. Alright, I have the motor connected through the wiring harness, the lid switch connected, got it plugged in over here, and I have it set to spin. So I'll pull it out, and I was able to basically get the motor freed up a little bit, not completely. Still doesn't turn as smooth as it should. In fact, yeah, it's pretty seized up, and I think the discoloration there on the bottom might be indicative of that something went down, like burned up or whatever it is. So, but in the meantime, let's see if it'll even give us a hum, if not more. So, look at that. Look at that. I actually got startled there, as you probably noticed with the camera. Interesting. Okay, so something definitely freed up there, because now it turns a lot smoother than it did a moment ago. And that was the timer, it shut it off. I'm gonna reset it here for... I wouldn't say this motor has long as it is, but it's definitely freed up from what it was a moment ago. Still has some trouble turning, but it's better. I got it freed up, by the way, with a screwdriver, because before it was like I could not even turn this by hand. It was so seized up. I had to kind of get the screwdriver and like move the fan blades in there with the blade of the driver. So and that's high speed, so I'm wondering if it'll run low speed at all. We'll find out here in a minute. Second, I guess. Yikes. That was rough as heck. Oh. Yeah, that took quite a jump to try and start that. Yeah, let's not. Okay. Trying to smell if it smells hot. I don't really smell anything at the moment. Interesting. Seems to have a much easier start on high speed. Maybe that's just because the high speed has a lot more kick to get it going than the low speed does, so it's not as much of a struggle.